went to the shop on the way home to get stuff for dinner, and I'm really not good at not buying naughty stuff most of the time. Well, I've just eaten 2 of these, and it's taken me 2 of them to decide that they're not even that nice. But still, I ate 2 in the process of deciding that. Cup of tea, watching Este's vlog, finding lots of comfort in vlogs at the moment, contemplating the mess I need to tidy up as well. Sometimes my fringe, I want to say I look like John Bon Jovi, but I'm just gonna quickly Google him to make sure this is the reference that I have in mind. Young John Bon Jovi. Well, kind of, but it's not. Yeah, maybe young John Bon Jovi hair is what's happening. No, actually not really. It's a bit too uppy. Who am I thinking of? Anyway, we need to discuss the fringe at some point, or deal with it. We don't need to discuss it. There's no discussion needed. Welcome to a vlog with me, John Bon Jovi. It's Wednesday, the 3rd of June 2020, into the 6th month of this year. Wowzers. There's a lot I want to discuss in this vlog, which I will discuss throughout the vlog and over the days that I vlog up until Sunday probably. It has been a unbelievably intense time. It was already, and everything that we have watched unfold in America following the just heartbreaking death of George Floyd, following to the protests that are happening, and more than anything, just the, awakening kind of feels like the right word, and realization of, wow, I'm only going to speak for me in this. So my realization of me as a white woman in a position of privilege have so much to learn, so much to consider, so much to educate myself on and build awareness on in relation to racism, in relation to trying to garner an understanding of what it is like living as a black person nowadays. Something obviously I will never fully be able to understand, but to do everything you can for that never to be an excuse to not be as compassionate, as proactive, and as proactive really is the word actually that probably needs most focus going forward in the decisions you make professionally, personally, everything. And professionally is a big one for me in terms of the brands you work with and promote, and obviously all of that, having a platform and making decisions like this to talk about it online is hugely important. I think the journey that lots of people will have gone on who don't often use their platforms to talk about political or social issues is sort of, and really even this is just like a human issue actually, but is one of, oh, from my position of privilege, I can't speak about this, I'm not qualified to speak about this, I can't get it right, and I'm always going to be criticised for whatever I say. And then that seems to have moved for so many people, which is incredible, to I have to admit that I'm wrong and try and be right, and part of that is speaking online and having a conversation about it and holding yourself accountable to doing better, and also using your platforms in as much of a positive way as possible. I've got a little highlight on my Instagram page which has got some swipe ups to one's an article which says 75 things that white people can do to help racism, but it's very US based, so that's the one to go to if you're based in the US, and that it references lots of things you can do within your state jurisdiction or your city's jurisdiction or whatever. And then there is a more UK Google Doc, which is the link in my bio at the moment, just because the majority of my audience is UK based, which has lists of resources you can use, books to recommend, places to donate. I also linked up a place to donate, which is a GoFund Me page, which is helping sort of educate and deal with accountability within the UK police force. Obviously what we're watching is very US based, of the police brutality there, but this one was more UK focused. and also a petition to sign, which is calling for some specific titles which deal with race to be part of school syllabus at GCSE level. I really didn't learn very much about American history. I know loads about Nazi Germany, I know loads about Tudor England, but nothing really about black history through my education, secondary. A little bit at uni in terms of what we did at History of Art, but very little, because it isn't what I ended up specialising in, especially my dissertation. So yeah, to have that in a curriculum I think would be incredible for people to be learning about it really young. Well, GCSE is not really young obviously, but the journey of educating yourself on this, which is a journey we really all do need to start now, is huge. And that's the journey I want to document through this vlog and beyond. I've ordered some books. The first one just arrived. I've ordered, I think I ordered 6 or 7 in total. I also have, which I mentioned before, Why the Cage Bird Sings. Is it called Why or How the Cage Bird Sings by DiAngelo. You might remember me mentioned that when I was up north, but that has been recommended a lot. I've reordered one that I've read before, which is Between the World and Me by Ta-Nehisi Coates, which is incredible. I gave that my copy to a friend because it's one of those books, but I reordered that so I can reread it. And the one that arrived this morning was A People's History of the United States by Zinn. This is going to be my starting point. I think what's really important is, like, when you start reading everything, especially with around when you're educating about stuff like this, is to first research the author, which is what I'm about to do now. But I think I'm going to start with quite a broad topic to learn on. Obviously that's one hell of a title for a book, and then once I've got more of a context, especially in relation to America, to then hone in a little bit more. I've ordered, the other ones that I've ordered were one's called So You Want to Talk About Racism, another one which ties I'm forgetting, but obviously I'll show you them all as they come, which is just specifically about how white people talk about race. But I mean, generally when you're researching something, you kind of do start broad and work in. So this is going to be my first port of call. I'm actually going to start reading that today. I've got another couple of books to talk about which I finished last week, which aren't related to black authors, black history, to racism, which I'll mention those two just so that I want everyone to sort of come on this journey with me. But of course I'll keep recommending some fiction and other books so that we can continue to keep balance in our lives, which is essential whenever you're learning anything new. And especially that, I think I found it really uncomfortable realising how little I know, how far I need to come. And all you can do is say this is day one. And from day one I make a change, and from day one I move forward in some way. But that realisation of the privilege is a really, really uncomfortable experience, I think, of just, it just makes you realise you're privileged, that I've gone 27 years without having to think about this. And this is the power of social media, that it can bring it to the forefront in this way for so many people. So it's important we continue to use our voices in this way. Oh, that was one heavy intro to a vlog, but absolutely necessary. And I think what I want to set an example of more than anything is talking about things even when you might get some things wrong. You can't shy away from talking about this, of thinking I might get a bad comment, I might word something incorrectly. You've got to go for it, you've got to try, and you've got to learn as you go for it. And part of learning anything is getting something wrong. And educating yourself on a topic like this, which requires a big understanding of the history of an entire race, is a huge task. This is one we need to take seriously. And for me, reading was obviously going to be the way I like to learn things, but there is, I think there's I want to say it's called The 13th on Netflix that people have been recommending, which I'll watch that, but like for me, I retain more that I read than I watch anyway, like, except Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Most things I watch, I can't remember what happens in them. So reading is definitely the way forward for me, but there's plenty of resources if reading is not your preferred method of learning. I'm going to take a breather from this 9-minute intro, but I wanted to start off the vlog with this because strike while the iron's hot and I've got your interest. Links and more information will be in the description box. I'm just going to keep adding different links to different pages of donations. And as I go throughout the week, as I find more, and I will fully write out all the names of the books that I'm reading as well, because I know sometimes some of you I speak too quickly. But yes, that is the agenda in this week's vlog, and like I always say to you guys, let's please make this a conversation in the comments, and let's voice what you need to voice. If you are angry, then voice it. Just say what you feel like you need to say, how this is making you feel, how you're going to try and do better yourself. If you're speaking from the position of being a person of colour, then how do you feel about what's happening? Just let's speak in the comments. You guys are so good as a community of all talking to one another, and I think this is now more important than ever, especially when we're seeing lots of stuff on Instagram, even like the Blackout Tuesday, lots of the same content, lots of the same things being reshared, which is amazing. But I think it's very easy to let it wash over you when it's so much of the same. Speaking for myself anyway, you just kind of end up clicking through and you're like, oh, you've seen that, and you stop fully engaging. Whereas something conversational, that's a lot harder to not engage with. So in the comments, please. We're now on nearly 11 minutes for an intro. I'm gonna stop. Hello guys, it's Thursday morning. I'm just about to set off on a long walk. I'm gonna walk all the way into town, just because I'm interested to see what like Trafalgar Square and everywhere feels like when it's so quiet, and we'll probably never be able to experience it like this again. It's quite a long walk. Look what I found. My Chanel belt, guys. Any guesses where I found it? Wow, I found it in the box where I keep my bikinis. I've been racking my brains as to how and why it ended up in there. I was thinking, like, did I get really drunk and think it was funny to put it there? Did I think it belonged there? I don't know. It's only because it's been so hot and I've been in the garden in a bikini so much that I happened to find it again. But I'm very, very, very pleased. I'm just wearing it with a Uniqlo U t-shirt, one of the men's ones in small. Weekday voyage jeans. These shoes are some of Dear Francis, some of Jane's new collection. They're called the Driver Loafer. They're so comfy. She's also done them in black, in white and olive. I really like the olive green, and I keep thinking, oh, should I have gone for those ones? These are gifted, by the way, but they're so comfy. It's unbelievable. So I'm going to walk in those, and I'm also going to wear, torn between these two jackets. One sec. Something really nice about giving proper thought to an outfit after so long. This one's a Gap one, from a collaboration I did with them. I really like it, but I think it works better with trainers. So I think I'll go with a Chotem one. It's also quite cold today, and this one's a bit warmer because it's woolly. Yes. Yes, I look like I always look. Wonderful. Very predictable and regular outfit from me. Yeah, I'm gonna set off on this long walk and then come and chat to you guys properly later. But that's all I've got to say for now. Morning guys, just sitting down with my breakfast. I've got scrambled eggs today instead of fried, and an avocado that, despite its claims, was neither ripe nor ready. Such is life. How is everybody? Oh, that's too low down. I've got chilli flake and pepper stuck in my throat. I mean, I just have to hold the camera, aren't I, and not be lazy. Oh, well, that's a sight for sore eyes. How are you all? It's Friday, 3 minutes past 11. The weather's gone to shit. Well, that's a bit dramatic. It's actually, the sun has just come out as I said that, as if to be like, whoa, whoa there, madam. It's just gone cloudy and colder. Hence, I've got a jumper on. I did a workout this morning. I'm exhausted. I've slept through for 2 nights in a row, like, which is unheard of for me, for lots of people. And I'm just knackered. I don't know why. I have no excuse, no reason to be. So yeah, that is that. Did a workout. I'm just gonna spend the day pottering at home today. I went for a really long walk, like I said, into town. I was expecting, like, not to be doom and gloom, but like a ghost town, like a bit of a post-apocalyptic feel. Didn't have that. It was all kind of still buzzing and going on. There wasn't people on the street, on Oxford Street and stuff, but I was like, oh, I was expecting something a bit more desolate than this. And it's a bloody long walk, and not the nicest walk really, from East London into the centre of London. The phrase saying into town is a very northern thing as well, by the way. So I'm not going to go on a walk today because I'm sick of that now. Instead, I'm just going to sit and read, but make some proper progress with this. I've only read about 30 pages so far. Small font. Do you know what? We always talk about fonts in books. Small font. And then they also, Shantram did this, took the liberty of leaving absolutely no margin. So there's a lot of words on every page and it overwhelms me.
That's when I feel the most alive. Masochistic kisses are how I thrive. Stiffness inside my neck and banging my head against the desk. Well, if there's no pain, is there any progress? That's when I feel the most alive.
Yes, how are you? My skin is having a meltdown, which is nice. Just what we love to see. Oh, sorry, that was noisy. Yeah, it's Monday morning. Had a quiet weekend, of course. Can't remember the last day I vlogged. It's been a few days now. And yes, just wanted to come on and chat to you guys again while I try and do something about the old boat race. I'll go downstairs and make myself a coffee in a second as well, and probably mostly talk to you then and kind of have the end of this vlog also with another conversation about where my thoughts are at with Black Lives Matter, and sort of more intentions going forward, so that the vlog has started and ended with this discussion, and we can talk about it in the comments, and just, you know, all that stuff I said at the beginning about how I want it to be conversational with us all, because I think it's far more engaging, far more productive, and is actually what this needs to be about, as opposed to viral tweets or things trending. This needs to go further than that. So just quickly slapping some stuff on my face. I honestly feel like crap, if I'm honest. I don't know why. Well, I do know why. I think we all kind of do at the moment, don't we? Such a lot going on, and with the weather going rubbish, it's very British to talk about the weather, it really is, but it does seem to have a huge impact on how we all feel, and understandably so. Right, that's absolutely no improvement whatsoever. We do what we can. I'm going to show you what I'm wearing today. I quite like what I've just thrown on. I am wearing Kate loafers with some black socks. I really quite like how just matte black this is, especially because the loafers are so skinny as well and dainty on the foot, if you will. Levi cropped 501s, a white t-shirt. I've lost track of what t-shirt this could possibly be. One of the usual suspects, and my Gap men's shirt. Quite like this outfit. I'm not really going out today, so this will be me for the entire day. I don't need to add a jacket on if I'm not going anywhere, but yeah, quite like this. Have I really just made any effort to cover those spots? You guys watch me do it, but you wouldn't have think that happened, would you? Well, let us sit and chat. Let me make my coffee and then we will shit and chat. Oh, just sat down here with my coffee to talk to you guys, and like I said, have this vlog bookended with a conversation, which needs to be the focus of this vlog for this week and continue to be woven into content going forward. As like I said, as I sort of document my own reading and research going forward with things. I am about 100 pages into the book that I showed you at the beginning of the week, The People's History of the United States. I am a slow reader of something that's that factual, which I think is kind of to be expected because you do sort of just sit back and process what you've read. I find very easily when I'm reading heavily factual books that I can get to the end of a page and go, I didn't read anything actually, that was just words on a page and I didn't read it. So I'm taking my time with that. I've been reading a really shit fiction book, which I'll talk about more when I've finished, alongside it, which is not relevant to the topic of Black Lives Matter at all. And like I said, I've ordered more, which are coming, they're on their way. This one arrived earlier in the week, The Bridge Called My Back, which is writings of radical women of colour. I'm going to sort of, again, pick this up alongside other books because it's short essays. It looks like there's some poems in here. It looks really interesting. I'm really looking forward to reading it. As you can tell by the title, this won't be solely focused on black women either. I ordered this one out off Amazon, which I know a lot of people messaged me on Instagram asking me where I got it. I know that's not ideal and I have been avoiding ordering off there. I just could not find this anywhere else. It wasn't from, you know, when it's on Amazon but from another seller, and it was like £25 or something, which I'm happy to pay, but it's a lot more obviously than you normally pay for a paperback book. So I think maybe it was quite expensive because it's really hard to find. So I'll leave the link in the description box of where I got it from anyway, so that if any of you do want to go get it, you can do. And yeah, going forward, I'm just going to continue to read things. And I think what's really important is that firstly, we all make the effort to educate ourselves so that the excuse of feeling like you're not confident to talk about something which so clearly needs to be having a conversation around it is no longer the excuse. And this whole process has been a learning curve of, you know, a lot is going on in the world right now. A lot of us feel really overwhelmed with it, but white privilege is being able to turn your head from that and go, I can't deal with this right now. Whereas black people don't get to do that bit, as we've seen with all the police brutality that's been going on and all the grief surrounding that, especially in the US. So it's now our chance to go, no, I'm being present with this and I'm going to take this seriously and educate myself so that I can continue a conversation going forward, one that I feel increasingly confident to have, but in the meantime I'm willing to have anyway and learn as you go. So I think it's really important to educate for that reason. Secondly, to have more of an understanding of racism and how it's been so institutionalized, to work out how you can actually practically make change. Obviously a big one at the moment has been donating and signing petitions, but just having a greater awareness of it is a bigger problem in the US for sure. And I think someone made a really good point in the Instagram live that Lindsay and I did, that there, possibly more than in the UK, you could be racially motivated to join the police force, and no, you can be a racist man and join the police force and you get to exercise your racism in the US, which is dreadful. Obviously it's absolutely hideous for that to be a motivation. I'm not saying that that won't be the case here, but again, in terms of the gun violence and the fact that people have the right to bear arms over there, does make it a very different situation. But I think I mentioned at the beginning that I donated to which I'll leave the link to, a GoFund Me that was with Stopwatch UK, which was also about educating and raising awareness of how there is still institutionalised racism within the UK police force as well. So it's definitely still an issue here, but there's no denying it's a lot heightened in the US for sure. So yeah, being educated so that you can be more aware of what's going on around you in terms of that, and be more aware of how you can be proactive with it, and also then bringing it closer to home in terms of your own conversations with friends, family, how you can implement things in your own working life, which obviously is quite a big one for me. I've had lots of you sharing with me the Diet Prada post that came out about Reformation over the weekend, and about their accounts of racism within the workplace there, and there is other brands which this is happening with as well, and this is how it is close to home for me, and how I have to react going forward to that. Research more about the brands that you're promoting in terms of this. Obviously making sure that brands have their shop window is diverse. Like this Reformation instance went deeper than that, obviously, because it was more about things within the workplace, which without someone coming out and talking about, we're never going to find out. Whereas looking on someone's Instagram page is very easy to see whether they're making an effort or not to be diverse. When I say someone, sorry, I mean a brand. And then there's already been lots of conversations going forward online about trips being more diverse, events being more diverse, and this absolutely needs to happen. Again, this can't happen overnight, especially with the world sort of on pause in terms of the influencer world with trips and events and stuff anyway. And what matters is how the change starts now. All you can say is, this is where I am now. I realise the mistakes I've made up to this point, and how I've been a product of my society and a product of the times, basically. And this is how I'm going to move forward with it. So yeah, I think the main point that I want to make is that this has to go beyond viral tweets, and it has to go beyond reposting the same photos over and over again. It has to get to a point where we are continuing our daily lives, continuing to share online, while being conscious and being responsible about actually educating ourselves going forward. That's where the long-term change comes in. It's very easy for people to post a black square, to be performative in this, is what I suppose I'm trying to say. And to, you know, like I said, the journey of educating yourself is a huge one, and to undertake it and to dedicate yourself to it. And it doesn't mean that this is going to become my life's work, this will become my study, but this is going to become something that for me personally I want to continue reading about, so that I'm more equipped to talk about it, continue to donate where I see fit, as in where like I said, for me, I think education is a really important place to donate, and addressing any issues of racism within the police force that we do have here, and just trying to make steps towards racism being less institutionalised. On one hand, an unbelievable thing we're still saying this today, but on the other hand, we realise this is a huge task, and that there is still such a long way to go with it. And we all have a responsibility going forward with that. Once again, I've spoken for 9 minutes. I'm sorry for being so rambly. It feels like there's lots of things to talk about within this, which are quite convoluted. And yeah, I just individually want to do better, and collectively do that through my channel with this. And I think I've made it quite clear how I'm going to go about that, or I hope so anyway. And willing to have conversations about it, like I've said so many times now. And just, yeah, like this has to go, this can't be a flash in the pan, it has to go beyond that. And this could be an amazing moment in history, actually, if we commit to making sure that it is, you know. So yeah, I'm sorry for such a long rambling outro. I hope you guys are all doing well and coping okay, feeling okay. And yes, links for things. I'll write a list of all the books that I ordered. I think I said this at the beginning in the description box as well. But links for all the usual stuff will be in the description box. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.